Right. Good morning, everyone. I'll try not to make this like a wedding speech or anything where we have the bride, the groom, and the best man, and so on. So my name's Julian Hiscox. I'm the director of the UK ICM network, and with me today is fellow co-director Paul Diggard from the Roslin Institute. I'd just like to give a brief introduction to the network. It was formed 2 years ago now when Paul and I and the other co-directors wrote the bid. It was in the midst of that pandemic, if you remember it. And there was a call by BBSRC, which is one of our basic science funders, and DEFRA, that looks after food and agriculture in the UK, to form a network of people interested in coronaviruses. And it wasn't just to be focused on those who suddenly all changed to SARS-CoV-2. It was to bring forward the lessons of One Health animal coronaviruses into what we know about human coronaviruses and back again. Because many of us felt, and talking with people at yesterday's big data workshop, and I guess wherever we travel really, that the lessons of One Health in terms of vaccinology, diagnostics, and so on, were not applied to SARS-CoV-2. And it perhaps would have been better if they had have been. So that was the philosophy behind the network. And it was also to consider coronavirus as a whole. Now, when I think of coronaviruses, I cut my teeth on how they replicate and transcribe for my PhD. And I'm very much a lab-focused scientist. But BBSRC and DEFRA were very keen and very wise that we should also consider social science as well and related subjects on how you would control a disease outbreak and what you can learn from them. Because of many of us who were involved in the pandemic, it was as much as the lab side and the clinical side and the behavior side that brought that pandemic under control. And it's exactly the same in the animal world as well. So that's the philosophy behind the network. And when we have these annual general meetings, such as our first one in Cambridge this year, and now very thank you to Tatiana and Misha for hosting us in the lovely city of Ljubljana in the country Slovenia, is that we integrate and consider those 4 or 5 different ideas of diagnostics, epidemiology, behavioral science, social policy, and so on. And so the network's been running for 2 years now. We've had a number of focused workshops throughout the network, and I just want to highlight 2 of them today in my thanks, mainly because in one of them I wasn't there to thank Zoltan and Siva for sponsoring the animal workshop in Belfast, run by Louise Cosby this year, and also John Hardham yesterday from Zoetis for sponsoring our big data workshop. And I think one of the nice things about the network is that we have been able to attract that external interest in the network and help us very closely with network activities. And so I think that's all of my thanks. Paul, you were checking me on this. Great, thank you. I shall hand over briefly to Tatiana, who's one of our hosts for Ljubljana. Thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you, Julian. My name is Tatiana Ausic, and as Julian said, I would like to welcome you and say that you are really welcome, and we are happy to have you here in front of the local organizing committee. And I know Julian for the last 10 years since the West African Ebola outbreak, and we were happy to continue our collaboration on coronaviruses. So therefore, Julian was last year our invited speaker when we had a meeting on zoonosis here also at the same place in the medical faculty, and was his first visit to Ljubljana in Slovenia, and he liked it so much that he proposed to have this annual general meeting this year here. So therefore we are here. And really, I hope you will enjoy the meeting. That will be fruitful, particularly for the young scientists, and that you will enjoy also our city and a little bit, as much as you will have time, our country. So as a part that we are the Institute of Microbiology, part of the medical faculty, I would like to invite our director of the institute, who is at the same time the vice dean of the faculty, to say welcome words in front of the dean.
Thank you, Tatiana. My name is Miro Petrovec. I'm head of the institute, which, for your information, is for some reason the biggest institute of the whole faculty. So we are really most important in terms of routine diagnostics and also think that have a quite good research record. I would like to wish you really very warm welcome to come to Ljubljana and to choose our site to meet here after all this epidemic, which our institute and the faculty spent last 3 years really with almost unbearable condition, because we've been involved in the really diagnostics, studying the viruses for 3 years, really on full time. Almost the whole institute, I think, more than tripled or quadrupled all the samples we analyze otherwise. And almost half of the diagnostics of COVID was done by our institute for the whole country, which I am very happy that this is over. And I think now this is a perfect time to have all of you here and share our experience and also make plans if we would be subjected again to the situation we are all facing, could use our experience and knowledge about the coronaviruses. My career in coronaviruses started about 9 or 10 years ago. And as Julian said, actually at that time, we have a quite hard time to persuade anyone that these viruses are important. And we were often asked, what virus you would think would cause the next pandemic? I can tell you really frankly, coronaviruses are not on that list. So really my warm welcome in my name and the name of our dean, who is actually not available to welcome you here. And I really wish and hope that this meeting would be a very good opportunity to talk to each other, to foster further collaboration between different specialties. As also Julian mentioned, it's very important that all the experience we gathered through the epidemic could be used for analysis and also for the future, if I hope never would be faced again in our career, the things we get through the last epidemic. My very warm welcome again to you, and I really hope that you enjoyed the meeting and also the things beside meetings, the venue we have, and to use this time productively to talk to each other and make new connections and further collaborations. And thank you again for choosing our place to meet you here. Thank you.